It's Thursday, November 29. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Taxi associations are waiting to hear whether or not a proposal submitted to the Transport Minister Robert Montague on Tuesday will be included in the road traffic bill. The proposal relates to the provision which would result in the owner of a motor vehicle being held liable for a ticket obtained by the driver of the automobile. This would only apply when the vehicle is captured on an electronic surveillance system being used to commit a traffic offense. The leaders of taxi associations were invited to a meeting with the Transport Minister on Tuesday, following the government's decision last week to postpone the debate on the road traffic bill, following concerns raised by the associations. Louis Barton, president of Jamaica Association of Transport Owners and Operators, JATU, said he's still concerned, as there has been no indication whether the provision in the road traffic bill will change. Mr. Barton said another issue discussed at the meeting with Mr. Montague was the quality of public passenger vehicle operators. He said there was consensus that there has to be an improvement in the behavior of transport operators, an improvement which could begin with more driver training. A technical team from the Ministry of Transport and Mining is to review the proposed amendments to the Road Traffic Act. The National Water Commission, NWC, is reporting that it is unable to pay pension liabilities totaling $19.5 billion. President of the NWC, Mark Barnett, told the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee of Parliament, the PAAC, that the utility company is now undertaking comprehensive pension reforms, and he warned that this will impact all employees. Mr. Barnett explained that employees who become eligible for pensions are paid from the tariff collected from customers, but said that is not sustainable. The NWC boss said as part of the pension reforms, all employees of the utility company will have to contribute to their pension. He said this will require amendments to the NWC Act. Among the efforts to address the multi-billion-dollar pension liability, Barnett said the NWC is contemplating divestment of some of its properties that are not integral to the operations of the company. Yolande Ramarak, the human resource manager at the scandal-hit Petrojam, has resigned from the post. News came yesterday that she tendered her resignation early last week. Ramarak had been embroiled in allegations of nepotism, with her qualifications and compensation package becoming a topic of public discussion when the Petrojam controversy started earlier this year. She was earning just over $13 million annually, which was twice the salary of the previous HR manager. In addition, the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee of Parliament had raised questions in July about a $2 million increase in her compensation package within 2 months of her joining Petrojam. The US dollar yesterday ended trading at 127 Jamaican dollars 34 cents, up by 30 cents, and that's according to the Bank of Jamaica's daily foreign exchange trading summary. The Canadian dollar ended trading at Jamaican $96.34, up from $96.30, while the British pound sterling ended trading at $162.63, down from $162.82. Motorists should see a decrease at the pumps in the price of gasoline and diesel today. According to the latest ex-refinery costs from Petrojam, 87 and 90 octane gasoline will be sold for $125.68 and $128.52 per liter, respectively, down by $3.04 each. Automotive diesel fuel will be sold for $133.98 per liter, following a decrease of $3.49, while ultra-low sulfur diesel is down by $3.60 and will be sold for $138.49 per liter. Meanwhile, kerosene decreased in price by $3.14 and will be sold for $113.05 per liter. Remember, marketing companies and retailers will add their respective markup to these prices. One civil society organization appears to be answering the call for Caribbean community countries to hit reset on climate advocacy. This is in the wake of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change Special Report on Global Warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius, which paints a troubling picture for the region unless there is a redoubling of resilience building efforts. Regional communication NGO Panas Caribbean on Monday announced it is launching a new regional campaign to support the Caribbean and other vulnerable countries in the fight against climate change, ahead of this year's global climate talks set for Poland next month. The National Meteorological Center says there is a cold front across the northern Caribbean. The cold front is expected to stall just north of Jamaica and influence the weather conditions across the island tomorrow. This afternoon, we can expect partly cloudy conditions with a few isolated showers across sections of northwestern parishes. In regional news, we look to Cuba. For the last 32 years, it's the first time since the president of Spain paid a visit to Cuba. Pedro Sanchez Perez Castillo recently paid a 2-day official call to Cuba. Here's more from Richard Richardson.
Thursday last in Havana, the president of Cuba, Miguel Díaz-Canel, received his counterpart of the government of the Kingdom of Spain, Mr. Pedro Sánchez Castejón, who paid a 2-day official visit to the island, including the signing of 2 memorandums of understanding at the Revolution Palace. The visit of the Spanish head of state comprised also a tour through the historical center of the capital city. During their cordial meeting, the 2 leaders agreed on the interests of enhancing economic commercial ties and also cooperation in cultural, scientific, and academic spheres. International matters was also in the agenda of the friendly discussion held by both state rulers. It was reported that one of the agreements is aimed to establish bilateral consultations within the constitutional foundation of the 2 nations, so as to expand ties and lay down the basis for the treatment of bilateral issues. The visit of the President of Spain to Cuba began with a tribute to Cuba's national hero José Martí at the memorial site, where he placed a wreath and observed the rest of the established protocol ceremony for the occasion. With his arrival in Cuba, Pedro Sánchez Pérez Castejón fulfills the invitation made by Miguel Díaz-Canel Bermúdez during his meeting at the United Nations last September, and it is the first time since 1986 that a Spanish president makes an official call to Cuba. Spain is currently Cuba's 3rd largest trading partner and the main one in Europe. From the year 1902, both countries have maintained uninterrupted diplomatic relations influenced by existing historical, cultural, and commercial ties. Direct from Cuba, Richards, Canal Caribe.
In sports, Digicel is giving customers who top up their mobile phones with $300 or more 1 free ticket to the Manning Cup final, where Kingston College will face St. George's College in another epic North Street battle. St. George's will be seeking to hold the coveted title for the 23rd time, while their North Street neighbor, Kingston College, wants to make it 15 this year. The highly anticipated football match is set for Friday, November 30 at 6 p.m. at the National Stadium. The Digicel Manning Cup competition fosters the development of football in Jamaica. The competition places spotlight on fresh young talents that have emerged throughout the season. And that's the news. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom. Pleasant viewing.